Welcome to Bnews Weekly. I'm Brad Bond in for Phil Gallagher. To the news. Well, another business has failed to make it in the competitive environment that is the Burlington restaurant scene. Bobby's Burger Palace, owned by television chef Bobby Flay, has reportedly closed. We reached out to the company for confirmation and comment, but were not given a reply. The Burlington Mall, however, states on its listing for the restaurant that it permanently closed on December 28th. The restaurant opened in January of 2013 at the mall. The 72-seat, 3,400 square foot establishment occupied the space formerly held by Eddie Bauer. It was accessible only from the outside of the mall. The Burlington location was the only Bobby Flay's Burger Palace in Massachusetts. Well, a clothing company geared towards outdoor activities and work clothes is coming to Burlington and is currently looking for new employees. Duluth Trading Company, founded in 1989, is opening a store in Burlington that will be located at 112 Mall Road. The store sells work and outdoor wear, as well as tools, knives, and shop supplies. It also has accessories such as wallets, hats, gloves, scarves, and sunglasses. The business started in 1989 when, as they say on their Facebook page, two wild and woolly hippie brothers who saw their fellow tradesmen carrying tools in buckets and thought there's got to be a better way, and invented the Bucket Boss Tool Organizer. In 1991, they opened their first office in a repurposed dredge barge on Lake Superior. Now the company has locations throughout the northern Midwest and some along the East Coast. The Burlington location will be its first in New England. Anyone interested in applying for a job at its incoming Burlington locations can attend a job event from January 10th through 14th at the Doubletree Boston Bedford Glen at 44 Middlesex Turnpike in Bedford. Visit www.bcattv.org/bnews for more details. Well, last week members of the community gathered at Wayside Shopping Center to celebrate Hanukkah with a menorah lighting ceremony. Bnews director Rich Hosford was there and has this report.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu.
On Tuesday, December 27th, the fourth night of Hanukkah, locals braved the cold wind to attend a menorah lighting ceremony at Wayside Shopping Center. The group listened to a blessing over the menorah and took time to sing songs both traditional and jovial. Rabbi Susan Abramson of Temple Shalom Emeth led the ceremony and spoke about its significance and explained what she hoped attendees would learn about the holiday. She also explained why it was important to bring ceremonies such as this one out of the temple and into the community.
Well, it's important that we be like a menorah and shine the brightness of our faith and our values into the public arena and help people understand what Hanukkah is all about as distinct from Christmas or other holidays. But it's mostly about bringing light into the darkness and showing people that how important it is for us to live up to the bright light of freedom and peace and hope and all the values that we cherish.
State Rep Ken Gordon said he was glad to see people attend the event and that it shows the strength of the community.
It's great to have a community that comes together over the various holidays that go on this time of year: Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, New Year's, and it creates that, that tight-knit feeling that we have here in Burlington, where, we celebrate holidays with each other. This one it's an important one. The message of Hanukkah is a message of hope. It's a message that when times get tough and sometimes things happen that, we would rather not have, we stand up with each other and we fight with we fight together for a common good.
Gordon said he also agreed it was important to hold events such as this in public places to share their traditions.
Again, people are sharing their cultures now. It's important because we need to get to know and learn about the different cultures that go on here in Burlington and around the district and around the area, because we are a melting pot. And through shared experiences like this, through education, we grow to appreciate each other and understand what makes us similar and what makes us different.
Finally, Rabbi Abramson explained what people can learn from the story of Hanukkah that they can apply to their everyday lives.
I hope that they learn, first of all, that this is not the Jewish Christmas, that it's a story about how the Jews fought the Greek Syrians who had desecrated the temple in Jerusalem many, many years ago, and the Maccabees was the name of the group of Jews who actually fought against their oppressors, and they won, even though they had meager numbers compared to the big army, and they were able to rededicate the temple, and Hanukkah is the word meaning rededication, so they rededicated the temple to the Jewish values and Jewish faith. So that really is the essence of it. And the miracle of the oil, they found a jar of oil that was only supposed to last for 1 day in the temple after they rededicated it, but miraculously it lasted for 8. So miracles do happen, and when we bring our light to the world, hopefully it shines light on many other people as well.
I have a little cradle, I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, with dreidel I shall take.
At Wayside Shopping Center, I'm Bnews Director Rich Hosford.
And when it's dry and ready, with dreidel I...
A great event. Thanks, Rich. Well, Burlington High School's student publication has been honored with a top prize in a national contest. BHS's Magazine Collab has, for the first time in its history, been named a Most Outstanding High School Literary Art magazine by the American Scholastic Press Association in its annual contest review of yearbooks and magazines. Collab advisor Benjamin Lally said in a blog post that the team is excited to have been given this recognition, and he congratulated the editing staff, the writers, and the artists who helped to make it happen. This honor went to only 13 high school magazines across the country in 2016. The award measures the strength of the artistic and literary content of the magazine, as well as the magazine's professional layout. Wow, congratulations. A member of the Burlington Police Department has completed an academy put on by the top law enforcement agency in the country. Police Chief Michael Kent said in a release that Captain Gregory Skian graduated from the 266th session of the FBI National Academy this month. The class took place in Quantico, Virginia, and consisted of 220 men and women from 48 states, agencies from the District of Columbia, 20 international countries, 5 military organizations, and 8 federal civilian organizations. The FBI National Academy's rigorous 11-week program demonstrates advanced communication, leadership, and fitness training for selected officers. The course serves to improve the administration of justice in police departments and agencies at home and abroad, and to raise law enforcement standards, knowledge, and cooperation worldwide. As a graduate, Captain Skian joins the less than 1% of law enforcement officers in the world to attend the program. Following graduation, each officer has the opportunity to join the FBI National Academy Associates, a dynamic organization of more than 15,000 law enforcement professionals who actively work to continue developing higher levels of competency, cooperation, and integrity across the law enforcement community. Wow, congratulations. And the Burlington Public Library took a walk on the wild side when the Youth Services Department presented Creature Teachers, a fun chance for kids to get up close to some animals. Bnews reporter Corey McNeil was there and has this report.
Hi. Hello, Happy New Year's, everyone. And this week, we go to the Burlington Public Library, where they hosted Creature Teachers.
Lots of times people think that snakes are slimy, and they really aren't. Creature Teachers is an outreach program that goes to libraries and schools and birthday parties and things, and we do educational programs with live animals. So we have all kinds of things, from birds to mammals to spiders and snakes and crocodiles and alligators, all kinds of animals.
Richard shared that it was his wife's idea that they start Creature Teachers.
And my wife said, you know, you enjoy this, you should probably start doing it. And we took a chance and went out on our own, and it's turned into quite a business. So.
Their programs can be a general overview of many different animals, or they can have a specific theme.
Programs like this will use 7 or 8 animals, and some are quite specific. We'll do things, we have one called The Nature of My Backyard, which is all local animals. We do shows on adaptations, we do shows on different parts of the world. So some of our programs are quite specific, but many of them are very broad ranging as well.
The shows feature all manner of creatures, both big and small.
Well, let's see. The largest right now is our Bennett's wallaby. He's a rather large wallaby because he's a male, and they get to be, if he is standing up, he'll stand up about maybe 4 feet high. And then we do have some heavier animals. We've got some large tortoises. And the smallest mammal we have right now is probably our tenrec. We have a tenrec which kind of looks like a hedgehog, but it's smaller than that. So we like the smaller animals. They're much easier to carry around.
Mr. Roth told us which of his animals was the biggest ham on camera.
Got to be her. Yeah, it has to be her. Although the flying squirrel's pretty good too. She'll jump from person to person. But Zima definitely loves the attention, and she loves everyone. So when we take her out, she usually goes and meanders around.
The kids and their parents all had a good time and learned a little something while they were at the library. Richard, any parting remarks?
The only thing I would like to say is that when we do programs like this, we like to see that people do get something out of it. What we want to make sure of is that people respect the animals and that they learn as much as they can about the animals, because I think that it brings us closer to our environment when we're talking about the animals that live with us, and it allows us to give kids the opportunity to understand why they want to save not only the animals but their environment as a whole.
Zima, any closing comments?
No, you're just going to show off. Okay, come up here.
Thank you, Rich and Zima from Creature Teachers, and thank you, Mike and Amanda from the Burlington Public Library. From Where the Wild Things Roam, this is Corey McNeil. Back to you in the studio.
Well, sorry I missed the program. Thanks, Corey. Sheriff Peter J. Katugian has announced the Middlesex Sheriff's Office will host a free women's basic self-defense course in early January. The Rape Aggression Defense, or RAD, program will be held January 9th through 11th at the Sheriff's Training Academy in Chelmsford in collaboration with the Billerica, Concord, and Tewksbury Police Departments. The classes, which will run from 6 to 9 p.m. each night, are open to women aged 16 and over living or working in Middlesex County. The RAD program includes a combination of classroom instruction and dynamic hands-on training where participants learn self-defense techniques and tactics. Sheriff Katugian said rape and sexual assault are violent crimes that disproportionately impact females. The classes are designed to teach women basic self-defense techniques while at the same time building their confidence should they find themselves in a dangerous situation. Women interested in participating in the class should contact the MSO Office of Community Affairs at 978-495-7410 to register. Well, using your smartphone to get some shopping done is easy and convenient, but it can also open you up to some scams. The Federal Trade Commission put out a warning saying fraudsters have been observed using fake phone apps that impersonate well-known retailers to steal people's personal information. The apps have names similar to well-known brands, and their descriptions promise enticing deals or features. These fraudulent apps can take your credit card or bank information and may even install malware onto your phone and demand money from you to unlock it. Here are some tips to avoid downloading fraudulent apps. On the web, you can search a brand name plus fake app to see if the company has reported its brand being spoofed. Look for reviews of the app before you download, both in the app stores and on the web. If the app has no reviews, it was likely created recently and could be a fake. Real apps for big retailers often have thousands of reviews. Don't download apps with misspelled words in their description. Many fake apps were created in a hurry. On the other hand, some fake apps look almost like the real thing. If you're using apps for shopping, keep records of your transactions. Screenshot or save the product description and price, the online receipt, and the emails you send and receive from the seller. You should also monitor your credit card statements and look for charges you don't recognize. Well, the ground is covered in a thin line of snow. Will we get more? We go to Bnews meteorologist Peter Brown for the latest weather forecast. And we'll also check out the community calendar with Madison Shipka to see what's happening in Burlington.
Well, hello everyone. This is Peter Brown with a look at your weather forecast for the upcoming 7-day period. And I hope you all had a great holiday season and a very happy new year. And here we are in 2017, if you can believe it. And we are now in the coldest month of the year. January is pretty much the bottom of the barrel in terms of temperatures here in southern New England. As we start out our period on Friday, look at this. We're going to see temperatures pretty chilly, but not too far from average for this time of the year. Highs in the upper 20s, and of course overnight lows getting very chilly at this time of the year in the mid-teens. And it's going to be about average, though, so nothing really too cold. but unfortunately nothing too warm for those of you who are looking up for a little bit more warmth in the forecast. As we get to the end of the period, you can see our average high temperatures keep going down a little bit more. By the time we get to the end of the period, our average high temperatures are right around freezing. So that's just about as cold as it gets around here in southern New England. So one good piece about that is we only have to go up from there all the way till July. But we'll talk about that, of course, as we go ahead in the next few months. But as we move ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit of what's going to be going on with our weather for the next 7 days. And really, there's not going to be a whole lot going on for us unless you're traveling down to southeastern Massachusetts, like to Cape Cod and the islands or the south coast. There's going to be a weak system passing by our area on Friday morning, and that might bring us here in the Burlington area just a chance of some light snow and maybe flurries even at the most. That might be all that we see around here. But if you're traveling down to Boston and going down towards Cape Cod, you could see a couple of inches on the ground. So if you're heading towards the city and southwards, keep an eye out on that. As we get into the rest of the weekend here, there's also going to be another system, but that's going to be passing well out to our east. And this is actually going to bring a lot of snow to the Carolinas and maybe even to Atlanta, if you can believe that. As we get to the end of the period, as you look out here towards the Midwest, we have the chance of kind of a messy storm maybe affecting us by Wednesday and Thursday, with a chance of some snow, sleet, and freezing rain, and also maybe just some plain old rain. So we're definitely going to have a little bit of everything as we go ahead for this period. As we move ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit about the precip and temps that we're expecting for the next 7 days. And right on here, this is basically a map looking at the period from January 10th to the 14th. So this is really looking at the end of our period. As you can see up here in our Burlington area, in the southern New England area, look at this. They're expecting us to be a little bit wetter than normal. So if we have a little bit cooler weather with us, that could, of course, mean a possibility of snow. But as we head to the next graphic, I'm going to show you, it doesn't look like it's going to be shaping up that way for you snow lovers out there. Look at this. The Climate Prediction Center is expecting us here in southern New England as we get towards the end of next period. Look at this. Much above average temperatures. And when we get to the 7-day forecast, that's definitely going to be reflected when we see temperatures maybe getting up near 50 by the end of next week again. As we move ahead, I'm actually going to show you some of those great graphics. It might be not so nice if you like the warm air in the beginning of the 7-day period. As you can see right here, Friday, we're going to introduce those cloudy skies with the chance of light snow and temperatures only in the 20s. And look at this. As we get into Saturday and Sunday, temperatures get down into the low 20s by Sunday. And look at this. Going into Monday morning, we're going to see temperatures down around 0 perhaps here in the, or at least the single digits in the Burlington area. But as we move ahead, of course, we get in Monday, that's going to be the real bitter cold. Temperatures only in the teens to around 20. And if we get into Tuesday, we may see a chance of a little bit of light snow developing in the Burlington area, and that's going to be pretty much the precursor to this messy storm that might be affecting us from the Midwest on Wednesday. But look at this as we get to Wednesday. We're going to see a mixed bag of precipitation, really not much snow, mostly rain, we think, but temperatures moderating into the mid-40s. And as we get to Thursday, look at this, partly sunny skies and temperatures near 50. That's absolutely beautiful weather for going into the second week of January. So folks, I know it's the real dead of winter, but I hope you get out there, and if you're a snow lover, get up to the mountains, enjoy that wonderful weather, and have a great week.
I'm Maddie Shipka, and this is your community calendar. Parents, do your children like stories? On Tuesday, January 10th, from 7 to 7:30 p.m., the Burlington Public Library is having a PJ story time. Bring your favorite stuffed animal and blanket. Parents are expected to stay with their children during story time. The event is free. The event is for kids ages 3 through 6. For more info, visit burlington.org or call 781-270-1690. Looking for some musical entertainment? On Tuesday, January 10th, from 7 to 10 p.m., Chops American Bar and Grill in Burlington is having a singer come to perform at Chops. Jay Saros, a Boston-based singer and songwriter, he has developed a healthy career with the belief that music, like any art, must be created through a lifestyle dedicated to the craft in order for the art and artist to reach their full potential. Everyone is welcomed. For more info, visit chopsamericanbarandgrill.com or call 781-221-6643. Parents, do your children feel like they are too big to be read to? On Wednesday, January 11th from 7 to 7:30 p.m., the Burlington Public Library is having an event called Big Kids, Big Stories. Come and have fun at the library with Miss Mary. There will also be stories, songs, and snacks. The event is for kids age 6 and up. The event is also free. For more info, visit burlington.org or call 781-270-1690. I'm Maddie Shipka, and that was your community calendar.
We are well into the winter sports season. To catch up on all the BHS Red Devils news, we go now to BNews sports reporter Matt DiMarzio for this week's sports report.
Hi everyone, this is Matt DiMarzio here with this weekly sports report. Over the holiday break, there was big news in wrestling. At the annual Big Red Tournament in Tingsboro, junior Josh Lee highlighted the day for Burlington, winning the championship at 132 pounds. It was Lee's third title in Tingsboro. Colin Maroney also had a good tournament for the Red Devils, finishing second at 106 pounds, and Luke Lord was fourth at 195 pounds. Maroney nearly won the crown at 103, falling to Patrick Hughes of Chelmsford in the championship bout 7-6. The next week, Lee also won at the Lowell Holiday Tournament, one of the biggest annual events in Massachusetts. In the finals, Lee defeated Bedford, New Hampshire's A.J. Pagliarulo by a 3-1 score. It was a big win, as this marks the second year in a row Lee won at the prestigious tournament. BNews reporter Robert Paris went to speak with the wrestler and his coach, and has this report. Take a look.
Hundreds of wrestlers from around the region came to compete at the George Bosley Holiday Wrestling Tournament, one of the biggest wrestling tournaments in the region, last week at the Tsongas Center. Burlington High School student Josh Lee won his second tournament title in a row. He's one of the very few wrestlers to win back-to-back tournaments and is the first to garner his second consecutive win as a junior.
It was definitely a very good experience. After the win, I felt pretty important to this school. It's the second to ever do it in the history, and it's just kind of a very good feeling to me.
This may be Josh's biggest sports accomplishment, but he actually didn't start out as a wrestler. His first high school sport was football.
I used to play football, and then my stepdad told me that if I wrestled, it'll help me with my football, and then I fell in love with the sport, so I just committed myself to wrestling. Kind of be better at football, and then once I wrestled my first match, I wanted to be the best that I could be, because I didn't like the feeling of losing, and so I wrestled as much as I could to be the best.
Josh wouldn't have achieved his goal if it wasn't for BHS wrestling coach Paul Schwartzman.
It's a great accomplishment. He's our second wrestler to win it twice, and the other wrestler was a senior his second time, so Josh has a chance to do something that no other Burlington wrestler has done. I think that tournament's a pretty big deal to us. It's a pretty big deal to Josh, so it's kind of great for him to win it the last 2 years. We were happy for him, you know. He's worked for this. He really seemed to turn the focus up an extra notch when this tournament comes around, and just, you know, took it 2 kids, didn't wait for anything, just went, you know, he knew he wanted to win this tournament, he kind of went and got it. So you got to be happy for him, and he put in the hard work, he deserves it.
The George Bosley Holiday Wrestling Tournament is special because it features the best wrestlers from each New England state.
A little under 700, I believe. There's 73 teams from everywhere in New England. All 6 states were represented. I mean, some of the best wrestlers in New England. This is tougher than a state tournament, that's for sure. And, you know, Josh stepped it up and wrestled great.
Finally, Coach Schwartzman is very proud of Josh and what he has accomplished in the match.
The finals match, the score was 3-1, but Josh was never in danger, and the other wrestler was real tough. We were kind of worried that, see if Josh could score, but Josh did a great job. He kind of neutralized everything the other kid was trying to do and got to his offense early, took a nice 2-0 lead at the end of the first period and just kind of rode with it. I mean, it was a close match, but on the other hand, Josh was never really in danger either. We just kind of try to tell him, look how hard you work. You know, you put in all this hard work, you should get something out of it. You should go win your matches. You know, we kind of equate their hard work to their accomplishments, and usually they buy in, and it seems to work pretty well.
From Burlington High School, I'm Robert Paris for BNews Weekly.
Thanks, Rob, for that report. Generally, there aren't many reasons to be at Fenway Park in the middle of January, but this year is a little different. Next Wednesday, January 11th, the Burlington High hockey team will face off against Arlington for a 5:30 game played on Boston's famous baseball field. It's all part of an annual treat known as Frozen Fenway. The game is known as an endowment game and won't count in the official standings for either team, but the evening will be a unique opportunity for players, coaches, and fans to enjoy a whole new look at Fenway. In other sports, the track and field teams are both off to exciting 3-0 starts. Earlier this week, both teams defeated Stoneham to strengthen their spot atop the league standings. During the opening against Watertown, Eddie Reus led the way for the boys, winning 2 events, and McKenna Matson was a double winner for the girls. Exciting news on the ice for the BHS girls as the Red Devils earned their first win by topping Masconomet Regional 4-1 last week. Goalie Megan Gaffney and Riley Glennon, who scored 3 times, led the way for Burlington. That's it for this week's Sports Report. I'm Matt DiMarzio, and back to you guys in the studio.
Well, one place where there's always a lot happening is the Senior Center. So we go now to Council on Aging Director Marge McDonald for the latest senior news.
Happy New Year. We are expecting many changes in 2017. Changes that will be beneficial to all of us, but there will be growing pains along the way. And no, I'm not talking politically. I'm talking about our own Senior Center. Work should begin for us sometime in September and hopefully be completed by spring 2018. It seems far off, but I know the time will go quickly, at least for myself, while I try to accommodate participants, my staff, and the workers. The one important thing that you all can do to help me out is to make sure you are checking in on my Senior Center when you come to the center, and to make sure you are checking into the correct activities. As I stated in the newsletter, I can call people who take certain classes and alert them to changes, such as cancellations or if we move a class to another location. The newest addition to our calendar this year is belly dancing. You don't need to dress down and bare your midriff, but you will get to work on strengthening your middle and thus toning it with this class, specifically geared to older exercises. Carol Lisa has been around for a while teaching classes for recreation. The class will be $35 for 6 weeks, payable to Carol Lisa, and will be held beginning Tuesday, January 10th at 2:30 p.m. If you are interested or for more information, you can call Carol Lisa directly at 978-937-7937 or email Carol Lisa at moonlightdjz@gmail.com. On Monday, January 9th at 12:30, we will be showing the movie Ice Age. Although animated, this is a fun movie for any age. And if you have a grandchild who loves this movie and is home, feel free to bring them to see this fun-filled, feel-good movie with a message. On Wednesday, January 11th at 1 p.m., we have Jen Bouchard from Dental Bright talking about oral health, and of course, she'll bring lots of goodies. We also have our caregiver support group for those of you caring for someone with memory impairment on Wednesday the 11th. You don't have to be a spouse, you can be a child or a grandchild as well. On Wednesday, January 18th at 1 p.m., Denise Mercury, registered dietitian from Minuteman Senior Services, will talk about salt and sodium, and will try to serve a healthy dessert along with her talk. Billerica Crossings will be at the center for the Wednesday night supper on January 18th at 5 p.m. Cost is $3 per person, and sign-ups begin Thursday, January 12th at 10 a.m. Just a reminder that while school is in session, if there is snow and the Burlington schools close, the Senior Center will be closed as well. If the Burlington schools are delayed, then the Senior Center will open at 10:30 a.m. Any classes or activities that begin at 10:30 or after will take place. Any activities that begin before 10:30 will be canceled. During no school session days, such as February vacation, I will make the call and put it on BCAT, Facebook, and Twitter, and a message will be left on the cancellation line at 781-505-4953. That's all for now. I'm Marge McDonald, and I hope to see you at the Senior Center.
Well, thank you, Marge, and also many thanks to Matt DiMarzio and Robert Paris on sports, Maddie Shipka on community calendar, Peter Brown for the weather, and reporters Corey McNeil and news director Rich Hosford. And thank you to all of you for watching this week. Make sure to watch again, BNews Weekly.